I normally teach over at the Sammamish studio, and I'm super excited to bring some of our Sammamish flavor to the internet today. This is Bala level 1. So this class is going to move a little bit slower with a little bit more explanation as we move through things. If you have at least one yoga block at home, that could be really helpful. If you have 2, that could be extra awesome. If you have something else that you can use as a prop to help with some balance, grab that. Maybe a can of soup or a can of beans. I know we all have a lot of that laying around. Maybe a box of macaroni and cheese, whatever, it's totally fine. In any case, something to help you balance may be useful. If not, don't worry about it, we'll be all right. All right, let's begin our practice starting in a comfortable seat. So you can stay up on your knees. If you do have that block, you can bring that underneath your hips, maybe between your ankles. And we'll just start with our hands gently resting, facing up on our thighs. Maybe let your eyes close or let your eyes just come to some soft focus. And begin to find your breath. Begin to connect to your breath. Taking note of your inhales and your exhales. And beginning to watch your breath as it comes in and out. And as you continue to cultivate that awareness, to find that connection, maybe you begin to make your inhale a little bit longer, allowing yourself to grow taller with that inhale. And as you exhale, allow that breath to fill in the spaces that you've created with your inhale. Allow that breath to support you and hold you. Continuing to take those big deep breaths, finding just a little bit more breath with each inhale. And filling that space that you've created with each exhale. And we'll take 2 more breaths. And then taking 1 more big breath. And then as we begin to move, go ahead and take any props out from underneath your hips and lay yourself down onto your back body. Starting with your feet planted on the earth, maybe take your feet to the outside edges of your yoga mat or at least a little bit wide and allow your knees to fall into center. Reach your arms high overhead just to begin to find a little bit more strength and movement in your body. And then allow your arms to settle at goalpost or cactus. Take a big breath in, and then on your exhale, let both knees fall over to the left side of your space. Just beginning to find these gentle twists. Your next inhale brings both knees up through center, and exhale over to the right side. And inhale brings both knees up through center. Let them fall back over to the left side. And then inhaling back up through center and exhaling over to the right. Inhale back up through center. This time we'll take both feet all the way up towards the ceiling. Hands can come down by your hips, palms on the earth. Keeping your feet active, draw your belly button down towards your spine and then up towards your rib cage. So you're super active through the core. Squeeze your pelvic floor, engage. Drop your right leg to hover. Find that core connection. Take your left heel towards your right toes and then inhale back up. Keeping that right leg hovering, take your left heel towards your right toes. Inhale back up. One more time, left heel, right toes. Inhale, back up, slow breaths, right? Take that right leg back up towards the ceiling. Left leg down to hover. Draw your belly in towards your spine and up towards your rib cage. Right heels, left toes. Inhale, back up, slow, slow, slow breaths. Right heels, left toes. Inhale, back up. One more time, right heels, left toes. Inhale, back up. Bring your left leg up to meet your right. Take your hands behind your head. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Press your head back into your hands. Allow your hands and arms to support your head and neck. Draw your belly again down towards your spine. This time, let's bend our knees so our feet are pointing towards whatever you're looking at. Take your right leg out long in front like you're trying to push something away in front of you. Twist right elbow towards left knee. Back to center. Bring your right knee back in. Left leg pushes forward, left elbow to right knee. Come back to center, back to center. Right leg forward, twist. Back to center, back up. Left leg forward, twist. Center, back up. Pushing it all together, making it a little bit quicker. Push that right leg out, twist. Inhale, back to center. Left leg out, twist. Inhale to center. Right leg out, twist. Inhale, center. Left leg, twist. Inhale, center. One more time each side. Right leg out. And in. Left leg out. And in. Head, neck, and shoulders comes down to the ground. Feet come down to the earth. Setting up for bridge pose. So your heels are close to your hips. Maybe you can touch your heels with your fingertips. Maybe you just know they're really, really near. Squeeze at your glutes. Begin to press your hips up high. So you're engaging your buns. Okay, we're dragging our heels back towards our shoulders energetically. You should begin to feel the backs of your legs light up. Maybe you keep your hands on the earth for a little bit of grounding and support. Maybe you decide to reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Your choice. Still imagining you're dragging your heels back towards your shoulders. Take 2 more breaths. One more breath. And then begin to set your hips back down to the ground. Take your hands to the backs of your thighs. Rock forward and back several times until you find your way up to your variation of Navasana, boat pose. Navasana can be right here. We can keep our hands on the backs of our thighs, keeping our toes on the ground. Long, tall spine, that's what we're looking for. Maybe you choose to take your hands away from your thighs. Maybe you're able to bring your feet up a little higher. Maybe you're like, I got this, straight legs, it's all good. Whatever works best for your body right now. Wherever we're at, we'll take a big breath in. And on that exhale, cross your ankles, come up and over, find your tabletop position. Y'all, I'm 5'3", and I still can't stay on my yoga mat. All right, making sure that your shoulders are stacked over your wrists, your hips are stacked over your knees. Draw your belly up towards your spine, press your hands into the ground. Find that support here before we move into our cat-cow. Take a big inhale, drop your belly, lift your tailbone, lift your gaze. Exhale, belly pulls to spine, tuck your tailbone, round your shoulders, gaze comes towards the middle of your body. Inhale, find length. Exhale, find that contraction, find that space behind your shoulders. Take a couple more of these on your own breath, adding in any side-to-side movement you may choose, maybe changing the orientation of your hands, getting into your wrists a little bit differently, but following your breath. Take one more round of breath, one more round of movement. And then we'll pause together in stillness. Inhale your left leg long behind, right leg reaches long out in front. Take an inhale here and then exhale, elbow to knee crunch. Inhale long. Exhale, elbow to knee crunch. Inhale long. Exhale one more time, elbow to knee crunch. Inhale for length. Hand comes to the earth. Left toes come to the earth. Inhale, knee towards nose. Lift up. Set that right knee to the earth. Left knee comes to meet. One round of cat-cow. Inhale, right leg long, left arm long. Take a big breath here, and then an exhale brings your elbow to knee. Inhale for length. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale for length. One more time, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale for length. Left hand to the ground, right toes to the ground. Lift, knee to nose. Find that contraction. And then set that knee to the ground. Bring your right knee to meet your left. One round of cat-cow. And then tuck your toes, downward facing frog. Keep your knees bent. So working on finding that length from the hands all the way up to the hips. Bending your knees a little bit more deeply, pressing your belly back towards your thighs, bending knees more deeply, pressing back towards your thighs. And when you feel like you've found the length that you have today, then begin to work towards straight legs one at a time, two at a time, walking out your dog, finding comfort, finding what works for you, remembering that the goal is not necessarily heels to the ground, straight legs. It's not a big deal if that's not what's working for you today. Wherever we're at, we'll take our heels high, bend our knees, walk to the front of the mat. Feet stay wide, knees stay bent, ragdoll. Grabbing your forearms, taking some side to side movement. Maybe you move forward and back a little bit. Rocking in a way that works for you, and that feels good. I'm taking one more big breath. And then releasing your hands, inhaling to rise all the way up, arms high overhead, hands to heart center. Walk your feet closer together. Toes can come to touch, or you can keep your feet a little more like hip distance apart if that feels better for your body. All right, together we inhale, both arms high. Exhale to forward fold, knees can stay bent. Inhale to halfway lift, hands to shins, shins to hands. Find that engagement in the backs of your legs, long line from your crown to your tail. Exhale to forward fold, hands come to the earth, step back to high plank. Finding that strong high plank. Belly again pulls back towards your spine and then up towards your rib cage. Inner thighs squeeze towards the midline. So whether your feet are close together or not, we're still squeezing thighs towards the midline to help engage the pelvic floor. Wherever we are, we'll shift forward on our tippy toes, come to the knees if you'd like, and then chaturanga all the way to the earth. Again, I'm off the mat, y'all. All right, hands are right next to your ribs. Inhale up, cobra, using the back body, using your muscles on the back body to lift. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, tops of the feet press into the earth. Squeeze your glutes, shoulder blades squeeze together. Exhale, come back down. One more time, I want you to think more about pulling from the back of the body than pushing from the front. Maybe you take your hands off the earth. Exhale, come back down. Tuck your toes. We'll find our way to downward dog through tabletop or through high plank, your choice. Inhale high on your toes. Bend your knees, step to the front of the mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise. Hands to heart center. Inhale, both arms high. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant. Step your left leg back behind. Left knee comes to the earth. Untuck your toes. Rise up, Chandrasana. Exhale, cactus arms. Lift your sternum towards the ceiling. Gaze lifts. It's not a crazy back bend. We're just working to stretch out those shoulders. Inhale, arms come high. Exhale, reach forward towards the front of your space. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, cactus arms, look up, squeeze your glutes, belly to spine. Inhale, reach high and come forward. Bring it back up. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale to reach. Hands come to the earth this time. Tuck your back toe, lift your back knee. Step forward, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise, arms high. Exhale, hands to heart center, pause. Inhale, both arms high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Step your right leg back behind. Right knee to the earth, top of the foot. Inhale, rise, Chandrasana. Exhale, cactus arms again. Lift that sternum. Inhale, high. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, back up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, high. Exhale, reach forward. One more time. Inhale, high. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, arms up. Hands come to the earth. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, Utkatasana, fierce pose. Sit into that chair pose. Options, keeping your knees together, keeping your ankles together, squeezing towards that midline. Option number 2 is to keep your feet hip distance apart. Work to rip the yoga mat apart beneath your feet. Either way, our legs are super active. Front side, back side, side sides, all of it. Belly pulls to spine. Spine is long, so we're not tucking or sticking our tailbone out. We're not tucking it way under. There's nothing fierce about that pose, right? Long, long spine. Hands can always come to heart center if your shoulders are tired. Are we done with this one yet? Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to high plank. Again, you can take the option we did the first time, or you can stay here, moving through chaturanga and up dog. Shifting forward on your tippy toes, bending your elbows, tops of the feet to the earth. Inhale to rise, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg high. Bend your knee, open your hips, squeezing your heel towards your buns. Shoulders stay square to the front of the mat. Straighten your legs, square your hip, right leg forward between your hands, or right foot forward. You can always grab it and put it there if you need to. Option to use a block here at this point if you would like to. Always mess myself up on that turnaround. We'll inhale to rise, Anjaneyasana, high crescent lunge. If you're finding balance is challenging today, take that front foot out a little wider. Find yourself some train tracks instead of a tightrope. Take a big breath, reach high. Exhale, take your arms to cactus and then let them fall behind, interlace. Squeeze your shoulders together, lift your sternum. Working to try to keep your hands off your body so you're lifting up. It's okay though if they touch, not a big deal. Trying to lift, belly pulls to spine. Inhale, release your arms high. Exhale, reach forward towards the front of your space. This is where you might like to have a block instead of reach. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, arms come together behind. Inhale, sternum lifts. Inhale to reach. Exhale to reach forward. This time, we'll take that block, come over to Skandasana. Woo! Left leg bends. It's live, y'all. It's super fun. Balancing, using the block for support if you would like to. If you're like, I got this, reach both arms out to the sides. Your choice. Inhale, come back to high crescent lunge towards the front of your mat. Reach forward. Opening all the way up, Skandasana, left leg bends. One more time, take it all the way to the front. This time, just reach forward right away. Inhale to lift. Exhale, take both hands to the earth. Step back, high plank. We'll come back to downward facing dog on my count. Draw your belly to your spine as you begin to lift your hips and press them back. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1. Find your way to down dog. From here, inhale that left leg high. Bend your knee, open your hips, squeezing your heel towards your buns. Shoulders stay square. Straighten your legs, square your hip, left foot forward between your hands. Rise up, Anjaneyasana, high crescent. Exhale, hands cactus, reach behind, take the non-dominant interlace. Inhale to reach. Maybe you're finding more space here now. Arms release. Exhale, reach forward. Arms come back up. Cactus, connect. Inhale, lift. Release. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, we open up, Skandasana, right leg bends this time. Arms can reach out to the sides, or you can be balanced on a block. Inhale, come back over, Anjaneyasana. Reaching forward, opening up, Skandasana. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, high crescent. Exhale, hands come to the earth. Step forward, forward fold, top of the mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Hands to heart center. Pause. Take a breath. Come to the top of the mat. Utkatasana, fierce pose, whatever variation makes the most sense for your body. Sitting into that chair pose. Making sure most of the weight is in your heels. Just wiggle your toes. Take a quick glance down. Can I see my toes? If your knees are so far over we can't see your toes, push those knees back. Sit that booty back a little bit. Take a big breath. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, high plank. Option to take your vinyasa here, or stay nice and slow, shifting forward on your tippy toes, bending your elbows for chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, slow and controlled, working with your breath. Inhale your right leg high. Bend your knee, open your hip, squeezing that heel towards your towards your buns, using your hamstrings. Straighten your legs, square your hip, right foot forward between your hands. Rise up, Anjaneyasana. This time, we'll take our, left arm back behind as you reach forward. Inhale, rise. Open up, Skandasana. Reaching forward, rising up, Anjaneyasana. Left arm sweeps back. Open up, Skandasana. One more time, come all the way up, Anjaneyasana, high crescent. Left arm reaches back, Skandasana. Star pose, rise up. Exhale, goddess, toes point out. Heels are in, knees are bent. Arms are at cactus. Focus on pressing your knees back behind you. Find your strength and balance here. Inhale to lift, star pose. Exhale, sit into your goddess. One more time, inhale to lift. This time, take your right arm under your left. Option to bring your hands to the heads of your shoulders. Option to take a half bind eagle, or to take a full bind. Inhale, lift your elbows. Exhale, take a forward fold. Option to come as low as you're able. If you've still got that block nearby, you can bring your forehead to the block and just kind of rest here. Allow yourself to settle. And take one more big breath. And release your arms. Inhale to halfway lift. Turn all 10 toes back to the front of your mat. Okay, stay with me, my friends. All the weight's in your right leg. All the balance is on your right leg. Come to your tippy toes on that left foot. So all the weight is in your right leg. Left toes, tap next to right, and extend. Tap and extend. One more time, tap and extend. This time we bring it in. Utkatasana, fierce pose. Find your breath. It's sweaty in here, you guys. You sweaty, Kendra? Okay. I have one friend in here. We're very socially distanced right now. Find that strong, 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 fierce pose here, my friends. Belly pulls to spine. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Take your vinyasa however you would like to. Finding your way to downward facing dog. Imagine I'm watching you all. I'm totally watching you all. Together, let's inhale our left leg high. Bend your knee, open your hips, squeezing your heel towards your buns, using that hamstring. Straighten your legs, square your hip, left foot forward between your hands. No big deal if you can't get it there in one shot. Inhale to rise up, Anjaneyasana, high crescent lunge. As we shift forward, right arm reaches back behind, engage that tricep. Open up, Skandasana, right leg bends. Sweep it back forward, Anjaneyasana. Right hand reaches back, Skandasana. Sweep it forward again, Anjaneyasana. Right hand reaches back again. Find that strength in that right arm. You're lifting it up. Open up, Skandasana. One more time, reach all the way up. Find your high crescent lunge. Open up star pose, because I think I did that a little bit wrong. It's totally okay. Find your goddess pose. Sit down into it. Not only are you pressing your knees back behind, but I want you to think about pressing those elbows back behind, opening up your chest, but drawing your belly towards your spine. So your ribs, bottom of your ribs are close to the top of your hips, but that sternum is what's coming forward. Reaching forward, maybe reaching up even a little bit, finding that stretch across the front of your chest. Inhale to lift. Exhale, sit into it one more time. Inhale to lift. This time, your variation of Garudasana with your left arm underneath. Whatever variation you prefer. We inhale to lift. Exhale to fold. Maybe you take your hands or your forearms to the block. Maybe you take your head to the block. Maybe you turn the block up so your head can rest on it a little bit more easily. Finding a variation that feels good here. Take one more big breath. And then release your hands. Inhale to halfway lift. Turn all 10 toes towards the front of your space. Hands can be on blocks, or you can just tent your fingers, having your fingertips on the ground. Belly pulls to spine, so we're not like laying onto our thigh, but find all your weight into your left leg. Right toes, super light, because we're gonna pick them up. Tap next to our left foot, extend. Right taps and extends. One more time, tap and extend. This last time, we bring it up and in. Inhale to rise all the way to stand. Hands to heart center. Pause. Grab a quick sip of water if you want. I'm gonna go through that flow one more time. Maybe adding in a few more arm variations. All right, my friends, top of the mat. Actually, we will add some more arm variations. Grab your block or your box or your soup can. If you have a soup can, you may regret some of what we're about to do, but it's gonna be just fine. It's good for you. Okay. Top of the mat. Inhale, both arms high. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant. Take your vinyasa. We'll all meet in downward facing dog when you're ready. And together, let's inhale our right leg high. And bend your knee, open your hip, finding that stretch. Straighten your legs, square your hip, right foot forward between your hands. Grab your block, inhale to rise. Block is on its wide setting. Take one dip, reaching that arm up high, bending that back knee. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, reach forward with the block. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach forward with the block. See what I mean? You may regret the soup can. You can absolutely set it aside. Inhale to reach. Exhale, forward fold here with this. Then we open up Skandasana. Keep that block in your right hand. If you would like to come lower in your Skandasana, you are welcome to. Set the block to the earth if you need it, or reach your arms out. Picking up the block, coming forward into Anjaneyasana, reaching that block out in front. Inhale to rise. One time dip, reach the block high while your back knee bends. Inhale, lift, reach forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, lift. One more time, reach forward. Skandasana, keep the block in your left hand this time. Maybe you get low, maybe you stay high, your choice. Block can come to the earth if you want. You can release your hands. Heel can be off the ground. It doesn't matter, you guys. If this feels better for your body, that's great. If you feel better keeping that foot down, that's fine. If you feel better staying up high, that's fine too. Inhale to rise, star pose. Exhale, goddess pose. Heels turn in, toes turn out, arms cactus, shoulders pull, elbows pull back. Inhale to rise. Exhale, goddess, one more time. How low can you get? Can you bring your hips in line with your buns? Your hips in line with your knees. Inhale to lift. Right arm under left, whatever variation of Garudasana you prefer. Inhale to lift. Exhale to fold. Toes turn towards the side edge of your mat. Again, maybe you like having that block close so that you can rest your head on it. That's fine. Feels really good. Take one more breath. And then release your hands. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, turn all 10 toes towards the front of the room. All that weight goes into your right leg. Tap your left toes. Exhale, reach. Inhale, tap. Exhale, reach. Inhale, tap. Exhale, reach. Step that left leg forward. Utkatasana, fierce pose. Again, take a big breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant. Take your vinyasa, finding your way to downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg high. Bend your knee, open your hips, squeezing your buns or your heel towards your buns. Hamstring is engaged. Straighten out your legs, square your hip, left leg forward, left foot forward between your hands. Grab your block as you inhale to rise. That back heel is lifted, back leg is long. Arms reach high, back leg dips. Inhale to lift. Arms reach forward. Inhale up. Belly pulls to spine, arms reach forward. Inhale to lift. One more time, arms reach forward. Keep that block in your left hand, open up, Skandasana. Your choice. Stay high, get low, bring the block down for support. Use the ground for support, whatever you need. Wherever you're at, we'll pick up the block again, turning back to our high crescent lunge, facing the front of your mat. One time, reach high, dip low. Inhale, lift. Exhale, arms reach forward. Inhale up. Exhale, arms reach forward. Arms are long. Inhale, lift. One more time, arms reach forward. This time block stays in your right hand, Skandasana. Stay here, get low, use support. Change your arms. Do what feels right. We'll turn all 10 toes back to the front of our space. Block can set aside. Rise back up, Anjaneyasana. I don't know why I keep missing this cue. Open up, star pose. We all found it. It's all good. Turn your toes out. Exhale, goddess pose. Sit low. This time, reach your arms out to the sides, straight out to the sides. Turn your palms up. Think about bringing your thumbs kind of as far down as you can. Turn your arms over. Think about bringing your palms as far down, or your thumbs as far down as you can. Again, think about almost trying to twist them the other direction. Turn them up and all the way over. Internal, external rotation. Feeling good. Take it down one more time. Pressing those thumbs as far back as you're able to go. Maybe you can turn your arms all the way upside down. Maybe not. That's okay. Lift. Come back up, star pose. Left under right this time, finding the variation that suits you. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling, turning your toes towards the side of your mat. Forward fold. Finding that fold that works for you. Something that feels good. Release your arms. Inhale to halfway lift. Turn all 10 toes to low lunge, fingertips on the earth. All the weight into your left leg. Belly pulls to spine. Lift that right foot. Tap. Exhale. Inhale to tap. Exhale, send it back. Inhale to tap. Exhale to send it back. This time, bring it back to Utkatasana. Here we are again. Best part is this time, we exhale to forward fold. We slow it all down. We inhale to halfway lift, finding our long breath again. Exhale, hands plant. We step back to high plank. Stay with me. Shift forward on your tippy toes. Option to come to your knees. Chaturanga to the earth. Both hands next to your shoulders. We'll inhale up one cobra. Gaze stays forward. Tops of the feet on the ground. Lift. Exhale, come back down. Left hand stays right where it is. Right arm reaches straight out to the side like half a T. And we'll roll up and over that right shoulder, taking your left leg. Maybe it comes back and plants behind you. Maybe it stays low. Maybe it does something weird. That's okay. Whatever feels right. You should feel an amazing stretch right in the front of the right side of your chest. Take one more breath. Your next exhale takes you back down to center. And then reset your right hand next to your right shoulder. Left arm goes out long to the left side. And then press into your right hand. Roll up and over that left side. Taking this time to open up our hips and open up our shoulders. We spend so much time right now in this kind of forward position, whether it's work or the news. And it's nice to take this opportunity to open things up in a different direction right now. Take one more breath. And your next exhale brings you back down to center. And then press yourself back to child's pose. Taking a nice wide knee position. So knees can go all the way out to the outside edges of the mat. Toes are together. Reaching your arms out long, bringing your forehead to the mat. And conveniently, since you are all at home, if it bothers you to have this much compression on the back of your leg, place a pillow behind the back of your knee. That might feel really great. Or certainly, you can just take your child's pose with your knees or your hips much higher than your heels. If that feels better for your body right now, take what feels right. And go ahead and walk both hands over to the left side of your mat, maybe placing your right hand on top of your left, pressing your right hip back towards your heels so you're getting that big stretch down the right side of your body. And your next inhale brings your hands back to center. And then an exhale takes your hands over to the right side. Again, pressing your left hip down towards your foot so you get that big, big, big stretch down the left side. And taking one more big breath in. And then your next inhale brings you back to center. Pressing back up to tabletop, finding a nice neutral tabletop, taking one round of cat-cow here. Inhaling to find length. Exhaling to draw that belly to the spine, finding space behind your shoulders. And then we'll cross our ankles and find our way onto our back body. We've got a little bit more core work before we're all the way done. So if you've got that block handy, grab your block. If you don't have a block and you've been using a soup can, you do not want a soup can for this one. But you could grab a pillow. If you've got a pillow at home, that would be handy for this. So take that block and we're gonna place it between our thighs on its narrowest setting. So that's why a pillow would work really well here for this. And then we'll come all the way down onto our back body. So from here, I want you to lift your feet. So your feet are pointing straight out in front of you. Knees are stacked directly over your hips and thighs are squeezing in around that block. So it's nice and active here. So this is not a lazy pose. You should already be feeling something. Right? Draw your belly down to your spine. When you draw your belly down to your spine, a lot of times your knees come in a little bit. I want you to press your knees back over your hips. This is a little proprioception to kind of figure out exactly where you need to be here. Again, squeezing those thighs in towards center. So from here, we're gonna press our feet out long, sort of like we did in the beginning of our practice. So we're gonna press those feet all the way out towards the window or towards whatever space you have in front of you, keeping your belly drawn in towards your spine, and then draw them back. Knees to stack over hips. Press forward. And inhale to pull back in. So that inhale is bringing them back in. We're not coming all the way up here. That takes the activation away. Keeping those knees to stack over your hips. Exhale, press forward. Inhale to pull back in. Exhale to press forward. Inhale to pull back in. One more time, exhale to press forward. You can do the hand thing if you want to. It helps me, I don't know. Inhale to pull back in. This time with the block still between your thighs, place your feet to the earth. They're gonna come a little further out than you normally would for bridge pose. So I don't want you to be able to touch your heels this time. Your feet are gonna be a lot closer to the front edge of your mat. Again, squeeze that block towards the midline. We're gonna lift our hips just an inch or two off the mat. So we don't have a ton of clearance back here underneath the mat. That's okay. I want you to tilt your pelvis up towards the ceiling. So it's just a little bit of a movement. It's a little bit different than we usually do. You should begin to feel your abdominal muscles between your bony hip points light up. Squeeze your glutes. Drag your heels energetically towards your shoulders and lift your hips a little higher. You have to use your glutes to do it. We can't just stack the bones this way. Okay, so it shouldn't feel like it's just your quads working. You should feel like all these muscles on the back of your leg are fired up. Take 2 more breaths here because it's so much fun. 1 more breath. I'm shaking. I don't know about you guys. And then set those hips back down. Take the block to the side. We'll need it again in a little bit, but we don't need it right now. And then take the soles of your feet together. Let your knees fall open wide. You can bring your hands onto the tops of your thighs, bringing the heel of your hand kind of into that hip crease, pressing down gently, getting a little bit of traction. Maybe that feels good for you. Maybe you prefer to keep your arms out at goalpost, getting a little baby chest opener here. Deciding what feels like the right choice for you. And taking 2 more breaths. And taking 1 more big breath. And this time we'll bring our knees in to touch. And again, like we began our practice at the beginning, taking your knees out to, or sorry, your feet out to the outside edges of the mat. Knees fall in towards center. And similarly, you can keep your hands on your body or take your arms out to the sides or even bring your hands to cactus if that feels, again, like the right choice. Taking 2 more big breaths. And then letting both knees fall over to the left side of your space, taking maybe your left ankle and bringing it over your right thigh, getting into that bigger, deeper stretch if that feels good. If you get there and decide you don't love it, just release and let it go. And taking 2 more breaths. And then your next inhale brings both knees back up into center. Maybe you windshield wiper your legs a little bit just to find that reset for your pelvis, reset for your hips. And then an exhale brings both knees over to the right side. Again, maybe taking your right ankle over your left thigh to get that little bit of traction in this twist. Maybe that doesn't feel right. Taking the time to notice what feels right for one side of your body and acknowledge and recognize that it may not be the right choice for the second side. And that's okay. And taking 2 more breaths here. And then bringing both knees back up to center, releasing that bind if you had it. And maybe taking some windshield wipering on the legs, just letting them go side to side to allow those hips to reset a little bit. And then from here, taking your right ankle across your left knee, reaching through and pulling back for reclined pigeon pose, figure 4. You can grab onto the back of your thigh, or maybe you're able to reach the front of your shin. Whatever feels good for you. Maybe you take this time to roll out your left ankle, keeping your right foot flexed a little bit to protect that knee joint. And maybe even this is more than you need. Maybe you'd like to keep your left foot on the ground and maybe gently press into that right thigh. And then releasing both feet back to the floor. And taking your left ankle over your right knee and choosing to maybe reach through and take that figure 4 stretch, hanging onto the back of your thigh, or maybe you grab onto your shin, or maybe you do neither and you plant your right foot back to the ground and give a little gentle traction to your left thigh. Take one more big breath here. And then release that foot to the earth, those feet to the earth. And then draw both knees in, bringing your knees to the outs, or your thighs to the outside edges of your rib cages. Bring the soles of your feet towards the ceiling. Happy baby pose, either grabbing onto the outside edges of the feet, the inside edges of the feet, or even the backs of the thighs if your feet feel particularly far away today. Either way, the soles of the feet go straight up towards the ceiling. So I want you to think about kind of 90-degree angles here with your knees and your shins and the ceiling. Maybe you take some movement, rocking side to side. Maybe you choose stillness. Pressing your sacrum, your low back towards the ground. Finding the length that you can in your back and your spine. And taking 2 more rounds of breath. And the last big breath here. And then extending both feet all the way up to the ceiling for Viparita Karani. So you have a couple options here because again, you're at home. So maybe you have a wall very close to you. If you do, you can get up nice and close to the wall, sitting sideways, and then just sort of swing yourself around, bringing your feet up. This is a poster, I'm not gonna put my feet on it. Bringing your feet up and resting on the wall so you can literally have your legs up the wall. If you do not have a wall nearby where you are working, you can just bring your feet to the ceiling. If you've got that block or that pillow or that macaroni and cheese box, again, the soup can's probably not a great choice, but you can press your hips up, block on its lowest setting, making sure that that block is underneath your sacrum. So it's underneath that wide bony part, kind of just above the squishy part of your buns, so that it can support you well instead of make you feel like you're in a back bend. So you can hang on to the block if you've got that there, or again, take your arms wherever they feel comfortable. Just reaching those legs up, allowing your body the opportunity to reset. Beginning to feel grounded into the earth. Beginning to feel your nervous system kind of reset. Allowing your breath to shift. Allowing your blood to move in a different direction. If there's any other inversion that's in your practice that you want to take, you are welcome to, because this is a level 1 class. Not officially going to teach to any other inversions, but you know your body best, and if you're at home and you're just dying to take Shirshasana, if you'd like to take a shoulder stand or a shoulder stand or plow pose, you are welcome to do that, of course. We'll be here for about 3 more breaths. And beginning to find your way out of this posture, moving yourself away from the wall if that's where you are. And then you have options at this point. Again, this sort of depends on what you have available at home. If you would like to take a supported fish pose and you have a block or multiple blocks, or if you have a pillow, even a blanket would work well. All we're looking to do here is to get a little bit of a lift between the shoulder blades across the spine. So you can do this with 1 block, you could do this with 2. You do it with 2, you set them up sort of like a T, and then lay down over That long block should come just a little bit lower than your shoulder blades, just allowing the opportunity for your chest to open a little bit more. If you've got a pillow, you can lay that just directly underneath you. If you have a blanket, you might like to roll it up a little bit, so you kind of have a little blanket roll up, and you can place that underneath. The blanket you may even feel a little bit more comfortable bringing closer to your hips. That might feel okay. And if you get here and you decide that this is not a posture that you're excited about, you can slowly roll to the side and find your way off and begin to find your Shavasana a little bit ahead of the game. I'll take about 4 more breaths here. And then as you begin to find your way into your Shavasana, you absolutely can stay in this supported fish pose if that feels good. Or you can gently roll yourself to one side to come off of your supports, come off of your props. And just begin to find yourself anchored on the earth, wherever you're at. Allowing your breath to slow and settle. Allowing your body to feel heavy. Allowing your mind to be quiet. And as you begin to find your way back into the space, if that's what you choose to do right now at home, you can make your way over to your favorite side. Pause there for a breath. And then bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. And together we'll inhale, both arms high overhead, hands draw together above, and come down to heart center, Anjali Mudra, the mudra of gratitude. I want to share with you a poem that I found. You are allowed to go slow. You are allowed to be quiet, make space, and feel. You are allowed to have nothing to say and to wait until you do. You are allowed to wait. You can just breathe sometimes and watch and see. And you can be open to whatever comes next. You can not know and you can want. You can be okay with your wanting. You can sit in your agitation, breathe into your irritability, and cry in your grief. You can wait for the truth. You can watch how you make up stories and love yourself and wait until the true one reveals itself. You can do all kinds of things slowly. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.